So you're kind of hopping across the surface as you're going around it. Caution comes out, and he gets to chill out for a minute.
So that was a look from the helmet cam of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And we've mentioned before the hottest driver, and not just because of the heat here in Nashville, but the hottest driver in NASCAR right now, Ross Chastain, currently third in this race, standing by with Parker.
Right, Rick, and it's still hot down here. I can confirm that. But we were watching that onboard of Ricky Stenhouse. I just got to jump into this for a second. You noticed him bouncing through the corner, and you said, my car doesn't do that. You're also in third. He's not. Does that have something to do with it, you think?
That was a A and B conversation. They were supposed to not see that, okay? So
the mics are always hot.
Yeah, well, you are a reporter now, so I wish I was talking to Parker, the race car driver, this moment.
We still are. We're still racer. I'm still a racer here. Just holding the mic a little bit. Let's talk about your race. Your teammate was moving forward. You were moving forward. Your cars look really good right now with these first couple laps.
Yeah, they are. These Trackhouse Chevy Camaros are absolutely incredible. I have the most forward drive that I've probably ever had at this style, mile-and-a-half-ish style track. These new next-gen cars have a ton of drive with independent rear suspension, but today I can really get back to the throttle, across the bump, and turn forward. Just need a little more turn. It was funny, we jumped up on the 99 pit box right when we jumped out of the cars, and we were talking about freeing ours up. 99 was talking about tightening theirs up, and Darian Grubb was like, guys, can we hang on a second? Like, we're second and third driving forward. We're passing cars. So, yeah, it's small details, and I think we've got two top 5 Chevy Camaros, and it's not much more you can ask for in the Cup Series.
So speaking of details, we saw you before the race having to change your cool shirt there. What was going on with that, and was it kind of a moment there trying to change it right on pit road, be like, what am I doing here?
Well, as I've now heard, the lovely folks at NBC on behind the cameras caught it, so...
We're always on camera. You got to learn this when you're up front.
Well, listen, I didn't care what I was on. There was no flow. I had no flow in the shirt, and the point of the cool shirt is to pump cold water, and I primed it outside the car. It worked great. Jumped in the car, no flow. So, changed shirts. It flowed. We're going to change to another shirt. Trying to make sure it's all working, but it's kind of our unit seems to be hit or miss. It didn't work at St. Louis, but as soon as we got back to the shop, it worked fine. So we don't really have a real reason. We can't find anywhere that's getting pinched. But yeah, love the folks at NBC. Thank you to the producers and everybody behind the scenes to put that on air. I really appreciate that. It shows off my beach body.
It was good, it's good stuff. So let's take a little rewind back to a year ago here at Nashville. You and I were talking about this earlier. You finished second, and then this year comes about. You go out there, you win at Coda, you get another win at Talladega, and now you're the points leader in the NASCAR Cup Series. A year later, you look at me saying this is almost surreal. What is that? What's this like? What's this year been like?
It's unreal, and I don't want anybody to wake me up. I want to keep living this dream, and I wake up every day, and as a racer, Parker, it's all we want to do is wake up and think about how we can go fast and faster and the fastest in race cars. And I'm getting to do that. And Trackhouse and Chevrolet are giving me these opportunities. And to bring on partners like Jockey today and unveil this red, white, and blue paint scheme is absolutely a dream come true as a racer. I mean, it wasn't that long ago I was crashing you at Daytona.
I was going to get into that.
Trying to push you to the lead. And, I'm sure you've got more to talk about that than I do, but I wanted to beat you to it.
So I'm not upset about that. You and I talked about that afterwards. We did wreck at Daytona, the lead of truck race. But you have been, for me, one of the toughest racers to race through years. We were in Xfinity, some of the back of the Cup field at times, or you just race so hard. You've taken that to the front of the field as well, and obviously ruffled some feathers. One of the things you said to me today was, I want to race with less drama. But you've been able to win doing it. So you don't want to change what you've been doing. This is ingrained in you. This is what you've done no matter where you are in the field. Is that something that you almost look at as like, this is how I race, I'm not changing it no matter where I am in the field?
I don't know how to answer that. All I know is that I've chased this dream and this goal of competing in the Cup Series for going on 11 years, 12 years now. I guess started in 2011 and had the dream of it but didn't expect it. But I woke up and had a lot of good people around me. And those people have changed, and I've got the group around me now these last few years that I want around me. And that's what makes going fast last year here with CGR so cool. It's what makes winning in the Nice truck at Charlotte this year so cool. What makes winning with Trackhouse so cool is that I've got the group around me to go to all these different teams. And now when I race guys, I want it to be for the win, and I want to race them for the win, and I just need to not do it for 5th place on lap 55, right? Like, I need to have some better couth about it. So I don't know how to answer the question. I don't know how to fix it. I just know I want this so bad, and that doesn't mean that I just get to run into people. Like, I get that, and trying to be better has been a challenge. I just want to pass people, and when they race me a certain way, then I'm going to do something about it, and they're going to do it to me too. Like, I feel like I'm the aggressive guy, yeah, but I also get run into a lot. So that's fine. It's racing. I love it, and I'm getting to do it at the front of the Cup field, which is just a dream come true.
You mentioned before that some of these are your heroes, like a Denny Hamlin. You've been growing up watching him, and now you are in a bit of a situation where he's maybe unhappy with how you raced him. Does that in any way change how you perceive that, or is that worry you in any way? Is it different seeing someone like that you've seen be so successful at the top of the sport, and now you're the one who's ruffling those feathers?
Well, I did make sure that I told him he was my hero, and that it wasn't definitely an old joke when I'm saying that in a certain way. But yeah, it's wild to me to jump out of the car and think, like, Daniel and I, we just passed the 5. We passed the 22, like, champions of this sport. And here we are both passing them in our Chevy Camaros. Like, we're passing them. So it's, yeah, they are my heroes. They still are. I look up to them, but we're competitors. And I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to just blend in completely, and you're not going to, it's not like you're not going to hear about me. Like, I just hope, and my goal is, and everything I wake up every day now to do, is to continue to go fast. I don't want to slow down. And Justin Marks doesn't want me to slow down. But let's do it going for the win and when it matters. And that's the $1 million question.
So I think Jeff and Junior, stick with us for a little bit. They have some questions. So, guys, just shoot them through me, and I'll relay them to Ross.
Yeah, I mean, talking to Ross this week, I know he was a bit concerned about how he kind of finds his place in the garage among the drivers, but what is he willing to do in terms to try to fit in more or get along better with the drivers? What's he willing to do in the garage versus what he's on? I mean, we don't want him to change on the racetrack. We hope he doesn't change, but he's definitely got to have some, have a little bit more of a better relationship, I guess, in the garage. He doesn't want to ruin that with everybody in there.
So Dale is asking, he doesn't want you to change, but he's saying, what are you willing to do to maybe put an olive branch out to some of the drivers? You've got to travel 38 weekends of the year, these drivers. You've got to spend all this time together. You're going to have to race against them for a career. What are some things maybe you're willing to do to put that olive branch out?
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, how am I? Well, one, I don't live the same life as a lot of them, so I don't have a bus here in the bus lot. So that's probably domino number one, that if I wanted to hang out with them on the weekends, I probably should be over there in the bus lot. But that just seems like an egregious, unnecessary expense that I don't really care to do. So strike that one. Yeah, should I probably give them a call and try to go out on the lake with them on Mondays? Probably, but I don't really like the lake that much, so probably going to just go to the shop and get dinner with them. Yeah, but I don't know. I've got my group. I've got my friends. It's a pretty small circle. And, yeah, after I talk with these guys, after we've had incidents, we go to breakfast or grab lunch, and I'm like, man, like, maybe I should do this more, but I don't. So I don't know. I'm a bit of a loner, and yeah, I've got way more friends, like, in the garage than I do on the grid.
Well, appreciate you spending the time with us here.
Thank you.
Jeff, I think he beats to his own drum is what I take from all of that here.
Hey, you know what? He does. And clearly he's having a difficult time trying to figure out how to be this guy, right, that's going to do what he needs to do to win a race at COTA, and then also walk through the garage and have a conversation with a guy, right? And, you don't have to be best friends, in the garage for people to respect you, right? And I think that he's trying to figure that out. And I also feel like Ross has always had this it's me against everybody else attitude. It's everybody's against me. I cannot catch a break. I have to make my own way in this world, and if I don't, I'm not going to have a chance. And so now he's winning races and leading the points, and he's terrified to change because that hunger and that feeling of desperation is what got him here. It's who he is. It's what made him the race car driver he is today, is not having that ride, having to fight, win races, and then lose a ride. All those things made him who he is. He's afraid to let go of that. He's afraid if he lets go of that, he's not going to be as hungry. Mike Tyson said that he was terrified to start working out again after he lost being in shape because he didn't want that demon to come out of him. And that's what competitors do. And Ross is terrified to change because it's working for him. And I understand what he's saying, because it's you have to have a split personality. You have to be a guy that when you shut that helmet, you're selfish, you're self-centered, it's all about me, but then find a way to be the nice guy, people that like you. It's very difficult to do. And what's gotten Ross here is being on the other side of that.
Yeah.
I'm here for me, not so worried about you, I'm here for me. I got to make this work. Terrified to let that go.
Something else that's difficult to do is work Mike Tyson into this conversation. But
never hard
really
to work
impressive.
Mike Tyson.
I talked to Ross. I'm sure we all did this week, and he doesn't want to change. And he's 99% of the people that are talking to him, giving him advice, they're all telling him that don't change, don't change. He's not going to change. I can tell you from working in this booth over the last several years, also being an owner in the Xfinity Series, having to race against him. Sometimes our cars ran into each other. Sometimes Ross ran into us or we ran into him. On those days, it was frustrating. But the very next week, we'd be in this booth watching Ross do something, and I'd be like, yeah, change. He's roughing somebody up, running somebody hard, not taking something off of somebody else, and it's fun to see. And I know that, he's got to refine it a little bit. What we saw at St. Louis, he probably doesn't want to push it that far. But, we don't want him. We want that every week. We want to stand up here in the booth. Fans in the grandstands want to stand out there and watch Ross do whatever it takes, right? We need some guys in that field willing to risk it all. And I wonder, as we get further into this playoffs or into the playoffs, and we have Ross with a chance to win a championship, something we've never seen him be in a position to do. What does he do then? Is he going to get crazier? Is he going to get more riskier, rougher? Because then he's kind of got an excuse. It's for the title, something he's dreamed about his whole life. So what will we see then?
This community of NASCAR is full of different personalities. And people have different tolerances for different things. And Ross Chastain's tolerance for being aggressive is higher than most. Tyler Reddick, he's the same way. He's willing to put his car in situations it feels normal to them. They don't think they're doing something that's not normal. Figuring out how to work with the other drivers and be as aggressive as they are is always going to be a challenge. They're young race car drivers. They're going to figure it out. They're going to make some people mad along the way, but ultimately they're going to figure it out. But they got to stay selfish if they want to win races.
Jeff called him or compared him to Mike Tyson. Maybe it's Iron Ross Chastain from here on out.